Hi everyone, how are you doing? Monica Bodierski here, artist and author of the Shadowland Tarot and the House of Shadows Lenormand. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I am, even though it's extremely hot outside and I decided to go garden, which is what you're looking at here, fresh out of the shower. I figured why not? I can share that. We've been seeing each other on YouTube for a while now. You get to see all this. Speaking of, I am also sporting a wonderful t-shirt, the Neighborhood Witch General Store t-shirt. If you ever get a chance to go out to Halifax, Canada, Nova Scotia, please visit the store because it's absolutely incredible. Say hello to my favorite witch, Lavender. She has amazing things in there. I was so sad when we left. We visited a couple of years ago, and I pretty much bothered that poor woman every day. Hi, are you a witch? Hanging out. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the things I do in the garden, and I will tell you why I decided to have a creative, relaxing weekend for once, which is hard for me. I tend to turn every single hobby into a business. Not this one. Wait, soon I'll have a gardening center. No, I just became a chartered herbalist, and I've always had an interest in plants, their medicinal properties, their spiritual properties, how they affect us, interactions with other things we take, and from a very contemporary witch perspective. So I thought I'd just share a few of those plants and a couple of other things because I've been hitting that tarot and artwork pretty hard and I need a little breath of fresh air. So come on with me into the yard and let's take a look at what we have. Okay, here we are going into the yard. There's a little tiny gate here. We pass through and then we walk into, well, kind of an explosion of natural herbs and kind of wild crafting on either side here. And by wild crafting, I mean a lot of the birds and squirrels have planted pretty much everything in our yard. And that's sort of how you get all these wonderful herbs and wildflowers occurring. Let nature do its thing. So, that's Sven. He's just kind of hanging out by the sage. That is a local variety, and there is a snake plant or cohosh right behind it. And of course, mugwort. Who doesn't love the roadside weed or the wonderful Artemisia vulgaris, the witch's herb? And this is how it was a month ago. So clearly it's enjoying the heat and the humidity a fair bit. So is the valerian, another medicinal herb that is just hanging out beside, and also a local variety, and Melissa officinalis tucked in there. Well, I like hostas. It's beside the cedar and it's just shade loving and fills up the grounds beautifully. That was the snake plant, and the sage is kind of bloomed already. That is an umbel of a wild carrot or Daucus carota, also known as Queen Anne's lace, but it hasn't opened yet, so you can't see the flower. There's mint, there's yellow loosestrife and yarrow. There's so much here. I hope it inspires you to let nature do its thing. That's where the true magic comes in. I understand that in a city space and tight spaces, we have to be careful about what grows and what doesn't at times. But I found it a wonderful living, breathing entity filled with spiritual energy when the birds and the bees and the squirrels literally plant things for you, and you get these wonderful surprises. Of course, I have to cut some of it back a little bit. Our wild rose, it is wild, so it's about 10 feet tall. Speaking of, here is the gorgeous nettle, which is contained in a little bit of a raised bed, as is the, several species of raspberry and blackberry we have. They do tend to muscle everything out of the way, so they have their own private space. Wonderful, wonderful energy, and it can be used medicinally. Raspberry leaves are so good for, a lot of women's issues. And here's the very first crop. This is Nepeta cataria. It is cat mint or catnip. Great nervine, really calming. It loves this kind of damp soil. And so does the plantain. Plantain has so many medicinal uses, and we just see them as weeds. What a shame. I use them, and I also use this, as I mentioned, lemon balm, Melissa officinalis, that it grows everywhere, and I mean everywhere. And what a wonderful tea that makes. It is so healthy for you. What good energy. Burdock, we know burdock, it turns into burrs after a while, but it is so healthy. It is cleansing. That is something I cannot live without, burdock tea. This is the sage that bloomed, and it's already out of bloom again. The sage flowers were wonderful. And I have a bit of curly dock or Rumex crispus here and mugwort. I do trim it and use it fairly frequently. The cedar is very medicinal. It makes a great tea. You have to watch out for the thujone, but it's great in incense as well. And so is this dried mugwort. I could not have mugwort without using it in spell work, of course, not just in herbal preparations, but energetically. I really love it, especially in this magical space. Wow, love making spells. And speaking of spells, since we've had so much rain, I took the opportunity to collect some thunder water, and I'd be happy to share what I use thunder water for. I have a whole stash of stuff I've mentioned I'd be happy to talk about or share if you're interested. This isn't really toxic, it's just super hot. It was one of my fire ciders, and this is an actual deer's tongue. And, well, you know, these things do happen. What can I tell you? Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying these videos. I hope you like the tour of the garden. You know, I'm pretty one with nature, but I have to admit, when there's a large spider in my hair that I hadn't noticed, I do tell you, this is a spider! Other than that, I'm pretty cool with it all. Anyway, have yourselves a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.